Do you know, Cole, that was only scratching the surface of your career, wasn't it? We could have shown hundreds of races.
You know, I was watching that and just shocked still. Remember, that was my career. You know, just seeing it a little bit there. It's just fantastic. Hello, hello. Yeah, there we go. There we are. We're back with it. Yeah, no, fantastic to actually see all that. It still excites me. You know, sport still excites me, so that's really one of the best things.
There's nothing wrong with looking back at that with a bit of satisfaction. Colin, one of the striking things about you was your longevity. You know, 1986 in Stuttgart, wasn't it? We were in the British team, and you were winning medals. You won European Championships in 2002. Now, unless my maths is out, that's a 16-year span. I mean, that is incredible. To avoid the injuries and the pitfalls of most people's careers is a massive feather in your cap. Anyway, if you've just been a journeyman international athlete, finishing 3rd, 4th, 5th in championships, like some people not sitting too far from you, but you were a great champion for years and years and years. How did you manage that?
Well, one of the things, let's be honest, you can never go through a career, as you just mentioned, without getting injuries. You know, I think the key thing for me is being able to manage those injuries well. So getting a good team of people around you that were also very wary of when you were getting tired, or if you were getting a little bit fatigued, or if you'd over-race, really when to rein you in. So that was really important, that I had a lot of people around who had those skills. And I think they were very protective of me to make sure that I developed, and then I maintained my position of being one of the world's best high hurdlers of all time.
But have you been to India before?
Once before.
Not 2010, was that?
No, I came here working, because you know I'm the international sport director of Wings for Life World Run, of course. So I came over here with Wings for Life and Red Bull to have a look around. And it was just an incredible journey for me in 2018. And so I was in New Delhi then, and that was just incredible. So to come here to Kolkata is just like unbelievable.
First impressions?
I loved it. I loved the busyness, I loved the vibe. Each city has its own little energy, you know, and as an international athlete, you travel the world, you feel the energy from all over. And so, to come here, to feel the buzz was just super cool. I love it. I love it.
They say New York's the city that never sleeps. India.
Exciting and excites me itself. But I've just come back from the Victoria Memorial now, and what an incredible building, and it was busy there as well. So it's great to see lots of activity happening. So I am really looking forward to Sunday, really, to see what that brings, the same energy, what it's going to tell me.
Colin, you know, for most of your career, do you think that was key? Do you think you could have achieved it without Malcolm?
No. He was a very special man. I mean, his coaching really started in Uganda, and he coached one of the best 400 meter hurdlers, John Akibua. And Malcolm was only 28 when he took John Aki to his Olympic gold medal in 400 meter hurdles and the world record, because John Akibua was the first person to go under 48 seconds, so he was a trailblazer. And I was lucky enough that that particular man ended up in Wales, literally 40 minutes from my home, and ended up being my coach. So you know how sometimes fortune falls into your lap. You know, it was no effort from me. All I literally had to do was just joyfully turn up for a track, and there so much. And then once that relationship you have with a coach, and they get to know you, and they get to know your family a little better, then you get much closer. I used to call Malcolm really like he's my second father, because to be honest, he spent more time with me than my father, because of course I was training all the time, so I was with my coach all the time. And it was just a wonderful relationship that started from the age of 15 until I retired at 36.
But athletics' luck was your balance with fame. He couldn't go into town clothes shopping or anything. His wife would have to go in, come back with 10 pairs of trousers and 20 shirts, and he'd select what he liked. because he couldn't go into town, he'd get mobbed or attacked by Newcastle fans because he was the wrong football club. Have you had that in Cardiff?
No, I don't think the Welsh people are very different in that sense. You know, we're very community driven as a nation in that sense, and they're proud of their own. So, you know, there was always going to be a little bit of a celebration, patting on the back, well done lad, you know, when you've achieved. The only time I wouldn't go into town, to be honest, if I had a disastrous race, because I was just way too embarrassed to meet my general public in that sense. So I definitely wouldn't have gone into town there. But yeah, being back home in Wales, I think is always great. But you know, at home, kind of my sister has got fame in her own way as well. She's an actor, so I was always around people who were celebrated, and I think that kept me very grounded as well. So it wasn't something like, oh, there's Colin Jackson there. It'd be like, oh, there's Suzanne Pecker. Oh, and there's Colin Jackson standing next to her. So it was nice to have that.
Of all your performances, champion world records, which stands out? What's the memory that if you had to make a snap decision, which is the one memory that really?
Funny enough, none of those. and
oh, you were twice Commonwealth champion as well.
Yeah.
Minor point.
None of those either. But for me, it was, and you'll understand the story why. It was the World Junior title, World Junior Championships, when I was 19. And going into that, it was the first time I was going to any major competition as a favourite. And you're 19 and the world's eyes are looking on you. It's the very first World Championships as a junior. So this was really your opportunity to make your mark. And about 4 weeks before the World Junior Championships, I pulled my hamstring. And so I couldn't race, I couldn't train, I couldn't practice, I could do nothing before that major championships. And then I was actually selected for Great Britain to do the long jump, the hurdles, and the 4x1 at that particular championships. And when I arrived at the games, because I'd done no training, they pulled me out of the long jump straight away. They had to name the relay squad, and I wasn't running, so they pulled me out the relay squad. And the only event that was left for me to do was the hurdles. And they said, well, let's see what happens. It's the end of the championships, the last 2 days. And I ended up winning those championships, setting a new European junior record, second fastest junior of all time. And I realised at that particular moment why it was quite life-changing, because I realised that I can compete even if I've carried an injury, even if there's a lot of pressure on me, even when there's a focus on me, I can still go out there and win major championships. So it set up my career to say, you can do this, young man, in whatever circumstance, and there will never be an excuse. So yeah, I think that's why the World Junior Championships are so important for me for my whole career.
That's nice.